Hello guys and welcome back. Welcome back to another video, and today we have another guide for XCOM Enemy Within. This one will be all about the soldiers, just because as you know, or as you may know, the new expansion brought a lot of changes to the scene, a lot of upgrades for the soldiers and a lot of ways to get them upgraded. So today we will cover the biological enhancement of the soldiers, and on the part 2 of the video we will go through the mech upgrade and cover all the mech changes that you can do to the soldiers, and we will compare the normal soldiers to the mech ones, but that will be on the other video. So also guys, if you enjoy this kind of guides, please remember to subscribe, and if you enjoy these videos too, remember to throw me a like so I know that you like them. Alright then, so first things first, let's go on, and I will explain and I will tell you what kind of team I find the best, to be the most balanced one. So as you can see over here, with white armor they are my supports, with my yellow armor they are my snipers, of course, and with my red the heavy and the black the assault. I find this to be the best comp for the game, because you have the maximum damage, survivability and flexibility in your team, a lot of ways to get through situations, and you are very hard to kill, and you'll be able to go through the toughest of missions, especially if you start enhancing them with general modifications. So as we go through the I will go through the gear very fast. All that stuff is the same with the normal game before the expansion, so I will cover them pretty fast. Now, for the heavy and the assault, I use sit-in plating for the extra hit point and durability. Of course, with everyone, I use a scope for extra accuracy. The ghost grenade for my snipers, I have found them to be extremely useful on them. And of course, medkit and scope for the supports, with the light plasma rifle that offers a little bit less damage but a lot more accuracy, which I find to be a good stuff. A good trade-off actually. So let's go. I will explain the stats very simple way, the abilities. So always remember that in this game the defensive abilities are always better than the offensive abilities. Having said that, I find tactical sense to be very good. Lightning reflexes will save you shit tons of damage and to get you out of very stingy situations. Rapid fire will be always more useful than flash. I've used it first, I've tried it out, I didn't like it. Rapid fire, you can get him close to the enemy, and even if you have the aim penalty, you won't care very much, because you will be, as you can see, she's accurate enough. Captain, of course, close combat specialist, amazing. If they approach you with less than 4 tires, you have an extra attack, free, which is a very good thing. And of course, resilience to be immune to crits, very nice thing. Now, let's go to the genes. Now, the gene modification. You will find this kind of modifications through the game, attacking, killing, interrogating enemies. So let me explain firstly what they do, and then I will explain to you what I pick, which one I pick in which class, and why. Now, brain, neural damping. We have this one, and we have neural feedback. Neural damping, what it does is that it gives you +20 will, that protects you against more will you have. It makes you harder to get mind control, etc., and to resist PSI attacks. And it makes you immune to panic. Also, if your soldier get mind controlled, the mind control will fail, and but your soldier will be stunned for 1 turn. Now the neural dumping, what it does, it causes, when an enemy hits you with a PSI attack, it causes damage to the attacker and puts all their abilities, all their PSI attacks on cooldown. Although this skill does not reduce the chance of success of the PSI attacks. Now, for the eyes, hyper-reactive pupils confers 10 to any shot after a miss. So let's say that you have the assault, for example, that has, of course, this ability. Rapid fire, you can fire twice, your shots suffer minus 15 aim. So what's the cool stuff with this gene mode is that if your first shot misses, your second shot will get plus 10 aim. So that's a very good thing to have. Depth perception, height advantage confers an additional 5 aim and 5 critical chance. That one, as you can understand, screams snipers. Alright, the chance enhancements. Secondary hurt. Now, what this does, in a few words, is that if your soldier takes, in case of fatal damage, he won't die, but he will go into bleeding state. That you will be able to revive him, and you get plus 2 turns of the revive situation. So, and also prevents loss of will from critical wounds. Nice thing to have. And the adrenaline neurosympathy is something like the Berserker buff, the Blood Rage, I think it's called, to all the nearby attackers, soldiers. But it has a cooldown of 5 turns. Bioelectric skin. So the bioelectric skin is that it creates an aura around the soldier that detects enemies, the presence of enemies around the environment. Let's say that you want to enter into a room, right? And you are on Overwatch on the other side of the wall. Now, inside the wall, you will be able to see some strange of aura if someone is there, of blue aura. That aura means that someone is there. You will not alert the enemies, but it will let you know that someone or something is there. Also, it makes you immune to strangulation. Strangulation, if you remember those new enemies that they have created into this new expansion, though I think they are called the Seekers, I think. That they fly around, become invisible, and then appear near your soldier and strangulate him every turn for 2 damage. So they become immune to that. Mimetic skin. So in a few words, what this does is that if you are on high ground and your enemies don't have any special abilities, if you activate this skill, your soldier will become invisible, and he will remain invisible for until you move him or until you fire. This can be useful in case you want to get out of sticky situations, for a squishy soldier, let's say a sniper or support. We'll talk about that later. Now, muscle fiber density. What this does is that it allows your soldier to jump on high grounds, even if you don't have an archangel armor with jetpacks, or that you don't need a ladder anymore. You don't need a ramp to go to higher places. So, if you want to go from the point A to point B, let's say, and in front of you have ledges, you have a balcony, etc., you can jump from one point to another and go directly to the place that you want. And the adaptive bone marrow reduces the recovery time by 66%. That stacks with rapid recovery, so it lowers it even more. And your soldier regenerates 2 HP every turn until he reaches the maximum HP that he has without armor. If you remember, without armor, your soldier should have around 1.5 bars, which should be 7 HP, something like that. Your soldier is the default 7 HP. I think it's the default HP of the soldier. So with this skill, they regenerate 2 HP every turn until they reach the maximum HP. Now that you know what the skills do, let me explain to you why I have made the choice that I have. Nice. So between these two skills, I find that PSI attacks are not the real problem. Normal, let's say, PSI attacks are like any other damage that you will take. So this can be prevented from being a way of line of sight, having good cover, having a lot of HP, maneuvering the soldiers in that way so you avoid or being in a situation that you can soak up that damage. The real problem is that when your soldier actually gets mind controlled, or when he gets panicked, let's say. Although in higher levels they never get panicked, but anyway. And it's very, very important to not allow that heavy soldier that does shit tons of damage, or that sniper, or that assault get mind controlled, because if you lose that soldier, you're actually fucked. So yes, immunity to +20 will and immunity to mind control every day, all day. Now, especially this soldier that is always the assault that's always in the thick of things and in battle and near and attack enemies. Eyes. It will be pointless to have this skill just because you move all the time with the assault and you're never in one place. So having the +10 aim on your rapid fire skill, it's not rapid fire, it's called rapid fire, right? Yes, okay. On the rapid fire skill, it's a very nice thing to have. So, and also it confers the 10 aim after any shot. So let's say that you have your soldier on Overwatch, he misses the Overwatch, but your next normal attack that you will do, he will succeed. He will have the +10 aim, so it's a very good thing to have. Now, why I don't have the secondary hurt and I have the buff? Just because the secondary hurt, I find it to be more useful on squishes, because these soldiers with the chitin plating on their armors and the Titan armor, they have so many HP, and also they have the medikits from the supports, that they need to take huge amounts of damage in order to get them dying. So yeah, I don't think it's useful. If you manage your soldiers in a decent way, you will never actually be in a state that you will need to recover him very often. So yeah, buff, I think it's more useful. You kill stuff all the time, even though it has a cooldown of 5 turns, still it's very useful. Now, why I don't have the invisibility and I have the bioelectric skin? Pretty obvious. When you have this skill, if you move or if you fire, the passive gets cancelled. And with this soldier, as we said, we move all the time, we fire all the time. There's no time to stay in one place and become invisible. So also the fact that you are always into close combat with this soldier, it's a very handy thing to have, to be able to check around you in the environment if you detect something from the enemies. And also why I don't have this skill, just because I don't find it to be a huge problem, the fact that I will not be able to jump over ledges with this soldier. Good placement of the soldier, just a bit more patience could prove enough. And the fact that he can regenerate is a big thing for me. Also, one other big thing that I like, because I like on my soldiers the Dative of Marrow, is that I am one of those people that I like to have one team and one team only. What that means is that these guys that you see right here, these six people, are the same people that I had from the start of my campaign, and I play on classics, so it's not the easiest level. These guys I had them from the first mission till the last one. So when I need them to have minimum recovery times, and when even I don't have someone, I will go to battle with, I never take extra people, I will go with 2, 3, 4, 5 people. I never take extras. So, having cleared out the assault, let's go to the heavy. Same reasoning, same stuff. For the abilities, I find Bullet Swarm to be extremely useful. When it's your turn, when you fire the first shot, you don't end the turn, but you get 2 shots. So if you don't move the soldier, you can fire twice. Again, at the start I used to play with the suppression, but at the end, let's say when you get to the end game, suppression becomes less useful, I have found. And when you start battling the mechtoids and those huge ass robots with shit tons of HP, the 33% of extra shredding from the rocket can make the difference between life and death for your teammates. So shred the rockets all day, every day. Hit ammo, again, for those mechanical tough enemies. Danger zone increases the area of suppression and rocket attacks by 2 tiles, so it increases the damage that you do, the area of splash damage that you do. And for that skill, Mayhem is also good. I personally prefer Rocketeer. You can play with these around. Both of them work. Both of them are nice, let's say. Zin mods, same idea with the Assault Soldier. They have the same role, more or less. This one for immunity to panic and ground control, I mean mind control. Also, again, this soldier, if you don't move him, he has 2 shots to fire. So if you miss the second, you can fire. You can fire the second with more accuracy. So huge buff for him. Again, the buff for the team by electric skin and recovery. Alright, now let's go to our supports. For the supports, I have found that the defensive abilities, like I said, are much more important than the offensive abilities. So the sprinter that allows you to move 3 extra tiles, I have found it to be amazing, very, very useful for those situations that you will need to recover a canister of meld far away, or when you need to run far away in order to save your a soldier that is bleeding out, or generally something that is very, very useful to have these extra steps. Also, if you want, you can also put a ghost armor on your supports that increases the tiles also that he moves, so you can cover huge areas. But of course, it will make them more squishy. Now, the field medic, of course, for the extra medkits in battle. The revive, enough said, it lets you revive your soldiers in battle. Then smoke, I have found that 20 cover, it's a pretty nice bonus. Although, keep in mind, guys, that it seems that the AI is programmed in that way that when you have some soldiers, let's say 2, 3, 4 soldiers, all covered with the dense smoke, the AI seems to be more to have the, let's say, the habit to throw grenades. So sometimes this skill may cause you more damage that you would like to avoid. So don't clamp up your soldiers inside the smoke. Use it maximum for 2 or 3 soldiers, or if you must for more, but I wouldn't suggest it, just because it seems that the AI is programmed that way. And Savior, I like that very much, just because I use Titan armor or all of my soldiers, and I want to have more healing possible as more healing as possible. So yeah. Let's go to the gene modes. Right, so brain, again, immunity to mind control. Yes, thank you. Plus the name, again, Now for the supports, if I, let's say, if I play the game again, most probably I would take the secondary hurt for them, just because I want my support to stay alive at all costs. Not that I had problems with them. The situations where I had to revive a soldier were, let's say, rare, but sometimes it happens, you know, and you need them to stay alive. But you can play around with this too. The buff served me well until now, but maybe the secondary hurt is better for them. Again, skin. For the skin, I like to be immune in strangulation, like I said, and also be able to detect the enemies. So I have found out that it's more useful than the immunity, than the invisibility, and also I move around my supports a lot. Actually, I use my supports as scouts. So for me, the invisibility when you are stationary doesn't fit very well. And that type of Marrow, just because, like I said, I want them to have minimum recovery times, and I want them to be active all the time. Now, to my snipers. The snipers have some of the most broken and most important skills in the entire game. Squad side, I cannot stress enough how important this is. It lets your soldier see what actually your squad sees. So what that means is that if you have a soldier far away scouting, and it sees an enemy, this soldier, when you have farther back covering with Overwatch, you will be able to fire that target. So now your enemies will not, your soldiers will not be limited to what they see. They will be able to fire on what your other soldiers will see too. Now, damn good ground, of course, just because you will have them always on high ground. Battle scanner, I found it personally to be much more useful from the disabling shot. Yes, I have used disabling shot for one playthrough, but I didn't like it very much. Battle scanner allows you to have that versatility in combat and to be able to plan ahead of your movements. If you are uncertain if there are enemies in that room, just throw a battle scanner and plan your movements from there. Also, the battle scanner had some bugs on the basic game, going off but not providing actual visibility. Now they fixed it, so it's even more useful. Opportunist. Yeah, what can I say about that? The opportunist is actually a very important skill that eliminates the aim penalty for your reaction shots and allows your reaction shots to become critical hits. So it's like firing a normal shot but on Overwatch, which is amazing. And of course, double tap for me is one of the best skills in the game. If you don't move your sniper, you will fire and you will fire and you will fire again. So it's like the bullet swarm of the heavy. Actually, they have the same practicality. So the gene mods for the snipers, right? So of course, again, immunity for me, and that one also, yeah, immunity. All right. Of course, depth perception, you will have them always on high ground, so that bonus is very nice thing to have. For them, again, like the supports, I prefer to have the secondary hurt. Snipers are absolutely important absolutely crucial for your team. You need them to stay alive, even in the shitty situation. Take that. Keep him safe, keep him far away. Now, you could say, why haven't you picked, let's say, the mimetic skin, since your sniper is always more or less in one place? Right. The reason why I haven't is because, again, strangulation. I often keep my snipers on different positions, although I try to have one cover the other. So let's say I have one sniper here and one sniper far away here. I always try to keep them into to keep them in range from one another. So when a sentry, let's say, appears close to one enemy, the other one shoots down. So yeah, the immunity to strangulation for me does the trick. And of course, again, adaptive mode marrow for the regeneration. You could take that just because your snipers are less prone to damage. But you could take the Archangel armor and use that. It's up to you, actually, in that particular case. It's totally up to you. Like I said, I want to keep my soldiers as healthy as possible, so for me this one is prio. So we covered the gear, guys. We covered the gear, the abilities. We covered the bio modifications that you can do in the expansion. On the second episode, I will cover the mechs. I am still doing some modifications on my mechs, but they will be ready pretty soon. I will have an epic video for you there. So I am really looking forward to show you the differences between these two and tell you the advantages and disadvantages between mechs and normal soldiers modified by, let's say, how's it called actually, the facility? Genetics lab, right. So, genetically modified, right. So, thank you very much, guys, for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I really hope you found it entertaining and useful. Please remember to throw me a like, and if you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe also for future guides, etc. And I will see you next time. Goodbye, guys.